are raising our kids in Nigeria, it is possible that maybe a big auntie or a big uncle,
but you might not be there.
They just feel
you might not be there. You might not be there when when such things are being done. But if you are there, if you are there, you have to stop it.
Hello guys.
Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are joining us today. You're welcome back to this channel.
Yeah.
And today we are going to be talking about something very important. As you well know that we have mentioned that we are both parents.
Yeah.
And we feel that it will be beneficial for our viewers if we can share some essential topics that will be helpful for you in your parental journey. I want you to know that we are all learning in this journey. Yeah. And once you become a parent, it is a lifelong experience. You keep learning on the job. Yeah. But it is all right to also learn from others, share minds together, and that is what we are going to be doing today. So the topic we are going to be looking at today is helping your children build a positive self-image. Yeah. Helping your children build a positive self-image. Stay tuned with us, stick here, and I believe we are going to have a very interesting topic.
Now, what is a positive self-image? Positive self-image is how, people see themselves in a confident, accepting, and healthy way. And it also means they recognize their strengths, they value themselves and feel comfortable with who they are. So that's what positive self-image is all about. When you look at the mirror, what do you see? You see yourself. So what is your viewpoint about yourself? What do you see about yourself? So that's what positive self-image is all about. Yeah.
Okay. So talking about self-image in children, bringing it down to children now. You understand? Yeah. Bringing it down to children. We've talked about generally self-image. Yeah. Generally, bringing it down to children. What does it look like? A child that has a positive self-image. What does it look like for children?
Yeah, for children, sometimes there is high tendency for children to downgrade themselves, especially if they find themselves in another environment. So for children, to have a positive self-image, it means they should feel proud of themselves, and also they should believe they are worthy of love and respect, and they should be able to handle mistakes and setbacks without feeling, defeated. Do you get it? So that's what positive image is all about, for children. Yeah. Okay.
So I believe that in summary, it simply means that when a child is comfortable in who they are happy and they are comfortable in who they are. They don't want to be somebody else. They are happy with their skin color. They are happy with how they look. They are happy with their personality. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings me to the case study of, I believe that most of us, we know Michael Jackson, right? So most part of his life has to do with, reconstructing his face, reconstructing his body and all of that. I think that is where some of these things stems from. That is a sign that when you start seeing a child that they just feel that something is wrong with the way they look. And I believe that at some point in time, everybody comes to that phase during development where you just feel that, why is my head different from others? Why is my leg different from others? Why is my face? Or why are others like this? Why am I like this? So I think that is a critical stage that as a parent, you have to start paying attention to. So in the case of Michael Jackson, physicians speculated that he was battling with something we call BDD, which is a body dysmorphic disorder. And this is a situation, it is actually a mental health condition. It is a mental health condition that causes intense preoccupation with perceived flaws in one's appearance. So the person begins to exaggerate. The person sees a flaw in their body in an exaggerated way. You understand? I once did a research on, not officially did a research, like self-study about this topic at a time. And I realized that the fact that you just notice that you start paying so much attention to a particular perceived flaw, because what you see as a flaw actually might not actually be a flaw. What a child feel or a young person feels is a flaw might actually not be a flaw. They might just feel, oh, my leg is so skinny or it's too thin, and you are paying so much attention to that leg that in such a way that even to wear certain clothes becomes a problem.
I think everybody goes through that process, when a child grows from pre-teen years to teenage years and to adulthood. Every child goes through that process. So it is very important as parents, to build that confidence in our children. So that's just it.
So for children like that, they battle with insecurities. They battle with, you can see a child that looks at the mirror at every scene. Even a young person passing through a car is just looking at that particular place, or he doesn't want to wear certain clothes because he feels that, oh, my eye is somewhere, or you see a child putting on face cap because he feels my forehead is in a way that I don't like, and he pays so much attention, it makes the person feel less of themselves. That part of the body makes them feel those are some of the signs of body, that BDD, in context now. Okay, so for the case of Michael Jackson that I was talking about, I think one of the things that also contributed was he mentioned that his father body shamed him or something.
From what I heard, that the father, always, called him nosy, something like nosy. Nosy.
Like too big nose.
Too big nose. So I think that really affected him. So this is a clarion call for we parents that we should be very careful of what we say to our children, because that can go a long way in damaging their self-image.
I think that is one of the places where the problems start from. That is one of the places how we especially those of us that come from Africa. Those of us that come from Africa generally, then I will bring it back to Nigeria where I grew, because I've not been to all of Africa. But I know that when a child is growing up and you are getting to that teen or teenage, you see some neighbors. They can call you. In fact, there is nothing they cannot call you. They can call you big head. They can call you skinny this. Even your classmates, you think that you are just joking. You think that you are just making fun. It's fun, right? But those words, you can't tell how far it can go in a child's life. A word that somebody has spoken, forgotten about it. A child can battle with that and see themselves in the mirror, in the lens of that word that you call them. That is why for me, I will never joke. I will never allow it or permit it. If somebody wants to body shame or, address my child in a certain way using their body, or maybe they feel, oh, your leg is so thin, see mosquito leg, I will not tolerate that. I can be very firm when it comes to areas like that. So we should, problem stems from things like that. When you just feel you are joking, you call a child in a certain way. I remember that they used to call me a name. I don't want to mention that name on screen here. It just means tiny. It just means tiny. And when you are being called tiny, it gets into your head. You see yourself as being tiny. And that is where a child begins to see themselves in the light of what the environment calls them. So, and that is why we have to be careful. What do you have to say?
I think sometimes you might not have the capacity to, let me say, to deter people from calling you whatever, they want to call you, or to say whatever they want to say, or to have a kind of good perspective about you. You are the one that will, that will resist it.
Well, you can, for example, as a parent, if somebody let's say, that is a common thing. Now we are not in Nigeria. Assuming we are raising our kids in Nigeria, it is possible that maybe a big auntie or a big uncle,
but you might not be there.
They just feel
you might not be there. You might not be there when, when such things are being called. But if you are there, if you are there, you have to stop it. But sometimes you might not be there. For instance, maybe at school, and the teacher calls the child a bad name in quotes now, you are not there. So our duty now is to instill that confidence in our children that no, if anybody calls you this name, this is not your name. Do you understand? You have to resist it. You are not this. You are this. You are blessed. You are beautiful. You are smart. you are confident and proud of you. So these are the words that we need to speak to the life of our children, because sometimes our children may find themselves in an environment where we are not there. So it's our responsibility as parents to build that confidence in them while they are with us. Just like somebody says, charity begins at home. So it's important that we build, this confidence in them.
I think it's actually because I remember there was a time that our daughter mentioned when she came home. I think she made a new hairstyle. Of course, like I said, we are not in Nigeria. Then we were in Asia then, and she came home and she mentioned that her classmate told her that, well, you would have been more beautiful if your hair could just be like our own hair. They have straight, long hair. We have short hair. So the classmate told her, and when she came home, she mentioned it. But I asked her, so what did you say? She told the classmate immediately that I don't have your type of hair, and I'm okay with my own type of hair. And it's beautiful.
Yes, you can see that you were not there when our classmate said that. But because of the confidence that we have instilled in her, what we have told her, that wherever you find yourself, you are smart, you are beautiful, you don't need to
be somebody else.
So that really, gave her the courage to confront the person that, no, I don't need to be like you. I love my hairstyle.
I think that we can just move to how to help the children. And I want to take it from just what we mentioned now, that a lot of times, you see, and it is a clarion call to parents, whoever you are as a parent, if people outside your people outside, if you know what I mean, if maybe a fellow classmate, a neighbor, an aunt, or whoever is addressing your child in a way, you understand, maybe they call them a certain name, or they talk about it, just like I mentioned about the hair, the effect, it has an effect, but the effect of you as a parent, the people that are the inner circle of the child, if they are the one that is not body shaming the child, that is so terrible. And I've seen it a lot of times that some parents do it. Some parents do it. You want a child to do something, they are doing it in a certain way, and the next thing is you want to call them names. It's totally wrong.
It's totally
wrong, because for an outsider it might even be easier for them to take it off. But if those that are supposed to how do you use that word, affirm them, are the ones that speaking negatively about their look, their personality, how they behave, that is going to have a very terrible negative outcome. And we want to discourage that as much as possible. Don't ever say negative things about your children. Don't body shame them. Let them grow. If you feel they are skinny, it's okay. If they are skinny at this age, it's okay. If you feel they are too fat, it's okay. They are still growing. You don't know how they will be in the next 10-15 years. So as a parent, one of the ways you can help your child is to affirm them. Don't ever speak negatively or speak down on your children.
Because another thing is that I think our words are powerful as parents. Our words are powerful. Whatever you speak will come to pass. So we need to be very careful of what we dish out, what we say. So I want to employ us as parents that we should speak positive words, even though if the child is not doing well, it might be in their academics. Don't speak any negative words. Learn to speak positive words, encourage them, and as you do that, it will surely have a positive impact in their lives.
Also, I think as a parent, still on that, is you don't have to hammer so much on what you perceive to be a flaw in your child.
You
don't have to. You can feel that the way your teeth is, maybe you feel that is in a certain way that maybe it is not arranged as you think it will be. I'm talking about as simple as the teeth. By the time you start telling the child, why is your teeth so scattered? You see all of us, our teeth is so arranged and it's so set. Why the child begins to look at the mirror, and then they see, oh, my set of teeth is so bad, and they don't want to smile. They don't want to laugh. True. They are covering their mouth.
And
you just damage that child. You just damage that child.
They will not be confident in the public. To speak to their friends. They find it difficult to to speak. So
what other ways can we help our children to develop a positive self-image?
Okay, I think another ways by which we can help our children to develop positive image is we need to encourage them to, to express themselves. Some of them, they have a whole lot of things to discuss with us, but as parents, we need to create that time. I think one of the strategies that we do adopt in our family is to give them time. Whatever we are doing, if they want to talk to us, even though if you're on your phone, you drop it, and we try to listen to them. So I think I've done that several times, that whenever my daughter wants to speak to me, I will just intentionally, I will let her say that, okay, I'm dropping this phone just to listen to you, just to pay attention to you. I will make sure that she sees me suspending everything just to pay attention to her, just to listen to her. Then I will not, focus on her. Okay, what do you have to tell me? Okay, what happened in school? So through that, we will be building, positive image in our children. So we should allow them to express themselves. Self-expression is very, very important here.
Okay. All right. So I think another thing that I would like to touch on is to foster independence in the children, in our children as well. We should allow them to make age-appropriate decisions. Like you can allow them to choose their own clothes, make decision, allow them to make decision. We don't want to be helicopter parents that you just want to be a remote control that is controlling your children. And the challenge that we have, most of us as African parents, is that I'm saying African parent because we are African parents. A lot of times we feel that we want to be in charge, and then we just want the children to succumb. Whatever I say is final. They should just do as I say, do as I say, do as I say. I'm the final authority. We don't allow them to even, give their own idea, make their own decision. Okay, I'm choosing this clothes for you, and that's final. That's what you are wearing. And the child does not feel like, sometimes as parents, you are wiser, right? You are wiser, like I always mention it to my child, that whenever, to our children, that when you are picking your clothes, I might pick a clothes for them, and they might feel, oh, mommy, can you just let me wear this dress? And the next thing I'll have to tell them is, okay, it's good, the dress is beautiful, but when you want to choose a clothes to wear, there are many things you have to consider. The first thing is the weather. Yes, you want to wear a dress in winter, so the weather, so that is, you consider the weather, your health, you understand? These are more important than fashion. You consider the comfort, you consider the occasion you are going, then you can now consider fashion as, okay, beautiful or not beautiful. So when you let them understand this, you are also stirring up their critical thinking. They're able to think, they understand why you are saying this, and from there they can be able to make concrete decisions on their own, even on other matters that is beyond choosing it. I'm just using choosing a cloth as an example. They'll be able to make critical decisions, critical thinking. You foster critical thinking. Don't just decide for them. Allow them to know that they are individuals, and they help them, teach them how to make correct choices. And with that, allow them, give them space, let them make that choice, see how they make their decisions. And then if they need guiding, then that way you let them know they are individuals, they are smart enough. Because every time you are they decide this, you change it. You are basically telling them that you are not smart enough to make decisions or choices. And
when they are outside your home,
they won't be able to make choices.
They won't be able to make decisions. Correct decisions.
They have to depend
on their friends,
other
peers,
people,
to make decisions,
and which is very bad.
So the most important thing is that we should guide them, let them make the decision. If what we are talking about will not lead to destruction, it will not destroy them,
negative consequences.
It's not going to have a negative consequence, then let them make that decision and tell them that, okay, if you do this, this is what
likely going to happen.
If you put on light clothes during winter, you get cold.
You get cold. Even there are times I've allowed one of our kids to I know that the weather is cold, but it is not so. They will feel the cold if they wear that certain clothes, but it will not have the adverse effect. I've allowed them to make that choice, and then when you get out, it's okay, how do you feel? Mommy, I'm cold. Okay, that's why I told you earlier. So next time you don't have to tell them so much. They know why they need to make that choice, and they can apply that to other aspects of their life. And we should let them know that sometimes they can make mistakes. The things that we should not do is, when a child makes mistake, we overreact. Overreaction when children make mistakes. Sometimes some of the mistakes they make is a mistake that even an adult can make.
Yes.
Even an adult. So allow them to make simple mistakes. Yeah. We learn by making mistakes. So allow them to make simple mistakes so that they can also learn and, you know, they can be independent people that are able to make critical decisions, correct decisions, wise decisions, and they learn from it and they move forward. You understand? So I think that is one thing. Don't call your children. Don't tell them, oh, you are too slow, you are too this, you are too that. Before you know it,
and avoid unnecessary shouting.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you want to correct them, that's very important. Yeah. Because some of these children, they respond, you know, to the tone of your voice. So when you say stop that, when you're fond of, you know, they hear something else. They might hear, oh, daddy doesn't love me, mommy doesn't love me. You know. So learn to speak in a friendly manner. Learn to correct them in a friendly way, so that they can get used to all these things. You don't need to shout, you know, on top of your voice before they do what is right. So
that shouting is something else, because it's something that I come from a shouting family. Seriously, I come from a shouting family that small mistakes, nobody's going to beat you.
I think that is how it is in Africa.
It's not well.
African mothers, they are fond of shouting.
They would rather shout than beat you. Sometimes that shout, the damage it does is even worse than spanking a child. I don't encourage spanking. You don't spank. You understand? We talk and we discuss. But shouting, it's not that it can, it damages a child's self-esteem. It damages a child's self-esteem as much as possible. If we also need self-control.
We need self-control. That is one of the fruits of the, you know, the Holy Spirit.
We need self-control as parents. Sometimes the things we even shout, I've later on discovered that it is because of personal, because it is not justified. Why? Because a child mistakenly pours water now, but because you're in a happy mood, you just let it slide. The next minute, the next time, another time, the child does the exact same mistake. And then you overreact. It's not, you realize that the shouting is not really about what the child does. It's about your own mood or how you feel at that time, which is not supposed to be so.
I think what the reason why it's like that is because there's what called transfer of aggression. There are some parents that might be going through stores. Maybe they've gone through, messy stores during the day, and when they come back hot. And they're hot and they're like, what's happening? And because of the baggage, you know, they've been battling with during the day, so they want to like transfer the aggression on their
which is wrong, because if let's say I have a bad day at work, I'm unable to respond in a certain way to my boss because he's my boss and my job is at stake, then I carry all that to a child. I feel it is not correct, because I feel that I can't handle my boss, I can't confront my boss, I can't express myself to my boss. Then I now transfer to my kids that are weak, that they are helpless.
The recipient of,
can you see? Can you see how wrong that is? It's totally wrong. So as much as possible. So how? Okay, in that situation, how should a parent respond?
I think as parents, whenever we step into our house, we should let go of every baggage. We should let go of, you know, whatever we might have gone through. Is it like
recondition your mind?
You just have to recondition your mind, because because when you enter your room, it might be that your kids that will come and they don't know what you are going through. So if you are still carrying that baggage, oh, my boss offended me, I'm not going to forgive him, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because you are unhappy at that.
You might overreact at the little
mistakes. You might overreact. I mean, so that is just it. So
I think one thing.
So the most important thing is to be patient.
To
be patient, and sometimes you need to discuss. With
that's what I also wanted to mention.
That's very important.
Sometimes I think I've done something like that before. When I come in and I'm very tired, and I know that it's easy for the kids to just do something. Maybe you are telling them to do something. Pack up these toys or clean up this place, and they are just being themselves and being kids, and they are still all smiley. They are not taking what you said seriously. You understand? Sometimes when I know that, okay, I'm tired, I'm not in the best mood at this time, I normally tell them, guys, I'm so tired right now. So I don't have the energy to if I've told you, just do what I asked you to do, because I know that immediately I mentioned that I'm tired, I'm not in a good mood right now, they understand and they know that, okay, let's just comport ourselves and do. So sometimes maybe open communication. We have to be open, we have to communicate rather than just bounce on them. And
because our children, they are in their formative stage, and whatever we do to them will become part of their lives. And that is the reason why we have a lot of deformed adults. Why? Because they don't have good, formative process during their childhood. So it's very important that we mold these children in the right way, and we should be good models. For these ones.
All right, so moving on from there, maybe we should start wrapping it up. Is there any other thing you'd like to share about?
We should also create a safe and loving environment for our kids. I think that is one of the things I enjoyed when I was growing up as a child. My dad was lovely. I see my dad and mom, they do things together, and that really have a great impact in my life. So we should try to create a loving, environment, peaceful environment for our kids, not a kind of environment that is filled with quarrels, shouting and some other stuff like that, because children, they are watching, and whatever we do now will surely create a lasting impact in their life. So it is important that we create that peaceful environment, for them to grow.
All right, so I think that that is all well said. Lastly, I will just chip it in also that you should also encourage your children to have healthy social connections. Help them to choose good friends. Help them to let them be social beings. Don't just isolate your children, and especially in this abroad that we are, it's very challenging. It's actually a challenge, because back home in Africa you can always have neighbors that your children will, they want to visit a friend in church. Here it is not like that. It is very difficult to to have like your kids having kids that they can visit on their own. Is very, very difficult, but we just have to be intentional and allow them to choose correct friends, vet their friendships. It will build their confidence as well. And with all of this, you can help them to develop, they see themselves as in a positive way, as I'm worthy of having a friend. Don't just say, I have a friend. What are you doing with? Who is that person? I don't want to see you with anybody. I don't want to see you with this. I don't want to see you with that.
No.
So we encourage, ask questions. This person is your friend. Where do they live? Why are you friends? How is their personality like? Is their character like? Ask questions. Make your own findings. And then the ones you feel that it might be a dangerous relationship, let them know why. Don't just call them off and don't let me ever see you with that girl again. Don't let me ever see you with that boy again.
And if you are not sure of the attitude of their friends, you can tell them to bring their friends home. Tell them, okay, can you invite your friends over? Just to have a talk with the kind of friends that they move with, and watch and observe. So that's just it.
I think that with all of this, I don't know if there's anything else you want to chip in. I don't know if there's anything else you want to chip in.
No.
Okay, so with all of this, we have been able to share with you from our own experiences about helping a child develop positive self-image. We want children that will grow healthy. We want children that will be confident of who they are, confident of their identity, that will be able to carry themselves as prince and princesses that they are, that they don't feel less of themselves, because when they feel less of themselves, they won't match up to the full potential of what they are capable of doing. So we want children who are able to, they are happy, and they are happy in who they are. They are happy. They celebrate their own uniqueness. Everybody won't be the same. Your voice and my voice won't be the same. Your stature and my stature won't be the same. So I'm not going to sabotage my potential because of how I look. Is different from how you look. So these are the kind of children that we want to raise, and these are the kind of children that we want you to raise. And it starts from you as a parent. It starts from you. It starts from how do you build their self-esteem? How do you build them up right from home? And from there, they can carry it out, carry it on when they are outside there, walking with their, not with pride, but with their shoulders, and knowing that they are happy, they are beautiful, they are important. They are important. They are as important as everybody else. These are the kind of children we want to raise, and we want you to raise. If there are other ways that you have been able to build your our children's self-image, you can put it down in the comment section. And as well, if there are questions that you want us to address about this, you can as well drop it down. We'll be happy to address them as time permits. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And watch out for this space for the next video that we believe is also going to bless you so much. All right, from here we'll say bye.